I've seen a lot of videos talking about Dark Souls and how it saved them, gave them hope, cured their depression, gave them meaning in life, and so on. Unfortunately, it never did any of those things for me, but it did give me something else, a feeling that was long lost. The first time I played a Dark Souls game, I reacted like most people do.
How many hits can you fucking take? You are literally a pile of bones. How much milk do you fucking drink?
So I stopped playing it. I forgot about it. And then over a few months, I started hearing how the game was fantastic and a masterpiece, so I gave Dark Souls 2 a go because, hey, if it has a number 2 in the title, that means it's better because it has better graphics. Yeah, I was a dumb kid back in 2014. So I booted up the game, came to Firelink Shrine, and what now? Where do I go? Since I wasn't familiar with Dark Souls or games that gave you a choice, I just went there. There's some stairs that go down, so that must be a path to take. I got to the heights Tower of Flame, came to fight these golems, and the game beat the living shit out of me over and over again. I knew the game was hard, but this is just ridiculous, so I turned the game off and played Battlefield 3 instead. Then, over a course of 2 years, I tried playing the game about 6 times. I wasn't going to let this game beat me. I refused to believe that it was that hard. Went to the towers and got beaten over and over and over and over again. I gave in, looked up a tutorial, I couldn't wrap my head around it. How do people beat this game? It seemed impossible. That's when I discovered another path that I didn't notice before. Here's the thing about Dark Souls, it gives you all these options. It doesn't give you a trail of breadcrumbs that you just have to follow around. It doesn't hold your hand. You are in control. Whether you're going to explore or just go down the first path you see is up to you. This is where I think Dark Souls 1 and 2 shine and where 3 fails. In 1 and 2 we were given a straight path to Firelink Shrine, and from there on you have this tree of paths that just keeps branching out, each branch leading to a new wonderful location where you can stay for hours and hours just exploring and never getting bored. And that's what I love so much about these worlds. I can spend hours and hours in one area like I did in Dark Souls 1, just exploring every nook and cranny of Undead Burg, never getting bored of it. Or how after replaying Dark Souls 3 for the 4th or 5th time, I still enjoy every area like it's the first time I'm there, although I spent countless hours already. Once I discovered the Forest of Fallen Giants, the game opened up to me. At first it was difficult, not as difficult as before, but at least now I felt like I had some sort of power in my hands. I remember being so scared walking down the corridor to pull the lever, thinking something's gonna jump out, and felt so proud when I discovered a new area. I loved it. Like, holy fuck, I'm not dead and there's a small soldier over there and I can take him out. No other game does that, makes you feel proud for the smallest task that you've accomplished. It forces you to be aware of your surroundings, it won't let you just run around mindlessly. I learned how to use a shield, which I discovered blocks arrows, whereas before I would go dual wielding with swords and got beaten by this one guy who could kill me from afar because he has arrows. Later I discovered one of the game's core mechanics, rolling, which gives me a great advantage over the enemy. And once I discovered that, I got this sense of confidence and beating the enemies was not as hard as before. It gave me this feeling that no other game gave me for a long time. It made me feel like a kid again. It gave me the feeling of accomplishment from beating these enemies, and I'm not just talking about boss fights. When you're a kid, every game you play is new to you. You have to learn the controls, you have to learn the game. It's this whole new experience every single time, but after playing 100 games, you already know all the controls, you know where to go, you know what to do. That feeling of pure joy just dies down, and when you become older, you have other responsibilities. Whether you're in school, college, job, or have to take care of your family, games just become less fun to play. I don't know if others feel this way, but when I got older, I lost that feeling of joy when playing games. It has something to do with games becoming less and less innovative and every game feeling like a remaster from a previous game, but also every time I play a game I feel like I'm just wasting time, like I could be doing something else, something productive. And for someone that loves games and thinks they're more than just a waste of time, this is really a struggle. When I play Dark Souls, I don't have that feeling. I feel that sense of progression, joy, and accomplishment that games once gave me when I was a kid. That feeling died down because games just became easier for me. When you play 100 shooters, it's no longer a challenge of mowing down hordes of enemies, even under hardest difficulties. It just gave me that kick-ass feeling, that fuck yeah feeling when killing a boss or a tough enemy, or finding a new bonfire when you have loads of souls on you. I remember defeating the Pursuer in Dark Souls 2 after trying and trying and trying for hours and hours, and once I finally beat him, I felt so proud. I just jumped out of my seat and started screaming. It was one of the best moments in video games for me. I'm repeating myself a lot. I'm just overwhelmed by these games. I'm trying to express myself as best as I can, but even when I'm writing this script, I don't know how to put everything onto paper. I remember playing my first game and how it beat the shit out of me. I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't know where to go. Mashing buttons was the only way to beat any enemy, but after that, games just followed a similar formula and it wasn't as challenging. Dark Souls is like your first game. You have no idea what the hell you're doing, where to go, how to fight, but once you learn how to play it, it's a wonderful experience that you won't forget. I'm not saying Dark Souls is perfect or the game of all games. It has its fair share of problems, and although I love these games to death, well, at least two of them, I do think 1 and 3 came really close to perfection. I love them because they brought back that feeling of getting lost in this huge and complex world with every corner hiding something new and interesting. And even after replaying Dark Souls 3 for the 4th time, I'm still in love with the high walls of Lothric, although it's the first area of the game. I think if a game can feel so good even after replaying it multiple times and being stuck in one area for hours and hours, that's an example of a great game. Once I played 2 and 3, I went to play the original, and I was honestly not expecting to be as surprised by it as I was. Well, this game has problems like inventory management, 4-way rolling, poor backstabs, and just overall feels kinda clunky because you can feel the weight of your armor. I was completely sold when I discovered that the whole map was connected. It doesn't rely on fast travel. Once I went down the elevator and it brought me back to Firelink Shrine, I just went wow, because until that point I thought I was going to have to go all the way back to upgrade my character, which seemed like a huge design flaw. I haven't completed the game yet, and I know that the later sections don't have this feature, which is a shame and is the reason why people mostly dislike later areas of the game. Regardless, as it stands now, I do feel it's the best Dark Souls game because of this feature alone. I just love the characters in these games. This world you're in is dark and depressing, and yet there's all these characters like Sigmar or Solaire or even the Giant in Dark Souls 3 who are just so positive and welcoming. You have minimal dialogue with them, but yet I feel so connected to them and remember them better than some characters in other games that I had way more interactions with. I really don't know what else to say. I'm probably gonna think of a ton of things I love about these games once this video goes up. I'm sorry if this video seems unorganized and all over the place and it's not highly edited. I just really wanted to make it and get these thoughts out of my head. I know it's really different than what I normally do, but I do plan to make these kinds of videos in the future, just more organized. I'll leave some more Dark Souls videos down below for you to check out if you're interested, but tell me what you think of the video or just Dark Souls down below and let's talk about it.